Aries people, will-o'-the-wisp people, which I realise I thought that was a generic name for something that looks like a little sort of sprite in the field, but I'm wondering whether it might just be a British TV programme from the 1980s, but let's see. Anyway, we're going to do something slightly different today. We're going to do a pyramid spread, which sort of asks the question for you, rather than the normal Celtic crest that I've been doing. So your heart is full of messages. Your head, where is your head? So this is Aries and will-o'-the-wisp people. Wisp people. Your head is full of worry. Your essence is, what is the essence of this Six of Cups, this question that you're worrying about? And the question itself. What is the question? Where to go to next, I imagine. Three of Wands. Unexpected. We're going to dive in and analyse these properly in a minute. Is the Hierophant and the Ace of Coins. And the unhelpful influence. Unhelpful influence is the King of Wands. That's what popped out for you on my initial shuffle, interestingly. The price you have to pay is the King of Swords. Your best course of action. Oh, that jumped in a really elegant way. It's the Four of Pentacles. Helpful influence, please, is the Queen of Wands. That's interesting. And where it's leading. Where it's leading. Two cards. Oh, lovely. We've got the Nine of Cups and the Strength card. Lovely. Okay, so two majors, and the essence is about love, and the question is about where to put our passion. So I think this is about what we love with passion, but let's just dive in. So your heart is full of messages. Your heart's talking to you. There's a sense in which it's sending you missives. Maybe you've been ignoring something you really love, and it keeps making sure that you don't ignore it at the moment. Just checking that that's okay. And we also say about these wands all lined up like this, that there's a sort of sense of goals being achieved here. There's something your heart wants, and there's some messaging, and it's talking to you loudly. And I'm just looking at this teeny tiny little moth. It looks almost like it's struggling to fly, but it's very pretty. It's like an animation. Flappy wings, very fast. That's interesting. Anyway, maybe that will have a bearing on us in a little while. And then your head, you're worried. You're worried about whatever this love, these messages are that you're getting from your heart. I mean, I guess there could be a world in which there's something wrong with your heart and you're worrying about that. But I think that's not really the way that we're meant to take this. I think that you're worrying about these messages that your heart is giving you about what you want. Yeah, I see the lunging figure and the yellow pillow, which I don't normally look at. Lunging figure down here and the yellow pillow. So, the essence of the question, I think, is getting back to something that you've really loved as a childhood. Is this nostalgic card of the Six of Cups. Can be about siblings, but really for the purposes of this reading, I think it's talking about what you might have loved and lost. You could be worrying about a child, obviously, or a soulmate with this card. But I think that's not it. I think it's about something that you've really, really loved and let go of that you have been ignoring from deep back into your childhood, and that now your heart is talking to you about it. The question is how to get to that essence, how to get to that communication from the heart. So here we have a character who's looking out over this beautiful, optimistic environment. His feet are very splayed like a ballet dancer, and he's holding one of the wands, and then the two others are planted in the ground, but he's found something he wants to go after. And when I look at this card today with my big magnifying glasses, I can see a sort of halo of sun around his head. And also, do you see the band around his head? So manifesting from a sort of intuitive sense, I think that is the question, is how do we get you to where you've now set your sights? The unexpected is that there's going to be some beautifully correct new start in this. So it might be that you just want it and think that it's because of what your heart wants, but there's a sense in which it might be good for everyone around you or for your further community. When I look at the Ace of Cups today, I'm seeing all the tiny little red flowers in that bower. Have we got that bower in shot? That sort of bower. And the mountains, and yeah, so the red flowers on this guy and the white flowers. So this guy's tunic has the white flowers, this one's has the red. Oh, water just dropped on me. And I think that the white flowers refers back to the Six of Cups, and the red is like this Ace of Wands. So it's talking about this new start that means so much to you, being very good, being very righteous in your community, not righteous, being very nourishing and correct for your community as well somehow, for those around you. That's interesting. And then the unhelpful influence is the King of Wands. It's your sort of impatient, maybe, nature to get going. I know where I want to be. I'm going for it. I don't need to think about anyone else. I'm just doing it on my own. But then the price you have to pay is to stop and be really logical. Let me just see if there's anything that pops out about the King of Wands. A balled fist. Oh, and this character around his neck. Look at that. It's like a face. It's almost like he's got a sort of gremlin or something that does his bidding. So the impatience and the impetuosity, well, not the impetuosity of the King of Wands, but the self-serving, entrepreneurial, that has to be mitigated somewhat. And instead you need to bring in a very cool CEO's kind of attitude, the King of Wands, King of Swords. So two kings next to each other, very mature energy. So rather than just taking a punt on this, being intuitive and creative, I think you need to sit down and really work it out. So whereas the face was round the neck of the King of Wands, this time the face is in his crown up there. And two crescent moons at the top. So there's always this interesting whimsical backdrop to this stern figure. Do you remember I talked about the little moth? Well, we've got butterflies, but they could be moths, and angels playing behind him. So you're being asked to be logical and disciplined and clear about your approach in this new venture. And the best course of action at the moment is to stay put. So no rushing off. It's a stage card, and actually he looks really happy today. He's got a really benign smile, and look at how pretty that town or city is behind him. The colours are delightful. And what I'm seeing here is that there's one tower in the background that has some green growing off it. Do you see that? And also like the bottom of a key underneath it. So that's interesting. It's actually a bridge. But so a city with something nurturing in it. So stay where you are at the moment. The helpful influence is the counterpart to the unhelpful influence with the Queen of Wands. So stay put, be dynamic. We're not asking you to squash all that creative spirit, but just wait a moment with your intuition. She's very intuitive. She's very rebellious, and she does what she thinks is right. Her little clasp might be the thing that's holding her cape together, though I can't really see whether that's a face. But she definitely has these two lions looking out for her. And then two lions dancing at the top above her head. watch and wait, like those lions. Be on high alert. Use your intuition and your spidey senses and your witchiness and that black cat just to... That's how you use that creative power without rushing off and making any action at the moment. And where it's leading, the wish fulfillment card and the strength, which is such a lovely ending. 2 pairs of glass. Oh, wow. So using this kind of magician-like energy, the female magician, so using a kind of female coercive in a gentle way energy to get exactly what you want. So that is absolutely wonderful. But I want to know what it is you want. So let's just get some more cards. We're not going to do much longer, but I'd just like a bit of clarification on what it is you're worried about and what it is you're going for, or anything that these Enchanted Forest cards would like to point us out to. 2 cards. We've got the 4 of Boons, which is this card of staying put, and the Huntsman. 4 of Boons and the Huntsman. Right, let's have a look. So the 4 of Boons was in the position of your best course of action. So let's see. I mean, you might just be worried because you're used to being able to act quite quickly, and being put stuck is quite worrying for you, especially when in your heart there's all this movement. Greed, poverty consciousness, hoarding, fearful attachment to material possessions. The trolls are spending money, though they have very little opportunity to actually... they're fond of money, but they don't actually spend it. Their avaricious nature drives them to try many schemes for increasing their wealth. These troll wives have set up a pie stand along the forest path, offering toothsome temptations to hungry travellers. But as much as they cover the glint of silver, the troll wives can't bring themselves to actually give up any of their pies. They scold all their customers away and sit moodily among far more pies than they could ever eat. When you are overrun with the troll wives, look at their faces, it means someone is feeling overly attached to material possessions. Fear of scarcity distorts reality so that however much you have, it never seems like enough. This can lead to hoarding, literally or emotionally. Give up the greed to find a peace of mind. Let someone else have some pie. There is plenty for all. So, okay, and that was in the best course of action, is actually to be like that, to hoard something at the moment. Let's see what the Huntsman says. He's number 11. So, justice, this is who he is. Integrity, fair dealings, legal and ethical matters, truth and honour, giving and receiving respect. Almighty Huntsman stands with his bow and arrow at the ready, his hunting horn at his belt, close beside him a doe and her fawn, closer than deer would normally be to a man. But Huntsman is not a normal man, the Huntsman. He is the embodiment of nature's justice. He defends the well-being of the forest and its creatures by protecting the vulnerable. The Huntsman appears when something has upset the natural order of things. He can be called upon for help in a righteous and just cause, and will tolerate neither deception nor deceit. What are your motives? Is your word to be trusted? Is he assessing you, not condemning you? He's assessing you, not condemning you yet. The law protects the innocent. Those who invoke the law must come from a place of righteousness and truth. Encountering the Huntsman signifies that the balance of justice is in play, and you must be careful to obey the laws of nature and humanity. Listen to your consciousness as it is embodied by the Huntsman, and do the right thing. But we know that the right thing that you could do right now, the best course of action, is to sort of hold on to what you already have. So when I saw the 4 of Pentacles in your best course of action, I assumed it was holding on to your position, but it might be that you need to hold on to some cash. Although we talk about these not wanting to let go, there's something you must not let go of, because that would be the righteous position according to this deck. So let's get a little bit of further information. We've got the Shining Tribe Tarot, speaking immediately, the Five of Rivers. This is by Rachel Pollock, who was a wonderful tarot scholar. Check out her books. The Five of Rivers. Birds, rivers are at the back. No, birds, stones, rivers. Here we go. Oh, I see. There we go. Accepting loss, adapting to new situations, grief, but also greater understanding, self-knowledge. Okay, interesting. The simple image comes from the Native American Mimbres earthenware dated to around 1000 CE. The original lozenge appears in the crane's belly, but here we see the sun matched by the dark sun matched by the shining sun in the sky. Various people have imagined a fish who carries the sun at night to its place of rebirth in the east. In the so in the rider, this would be the Five of Cups, where you're disappointed about something. But here, the rigidity is given way to acceptance. The river flows up and down, but remains one river, just as our lives are a river with many turns. A creature of water, the fish. As creatures of water, the fish adapt to the bends. The cards helps us to accept where we are in the time of our lives. This too shall pass. Batten down the hatches. I wonder whether your money is a bit short, though we haven't got anything about money apart from that. But maybe some sort of resource is a bit short, and you've been feeling upset about it, but now is the time to, let's just see, get going. Now is the time to get going. A bit confused as to what you're holding on for and what it is. Maybe this new venture. Okay, now they're talking. So we've got finding your true path with clarity towards your wish fulfillment, working with others, this beautiful mix of the Nine of Cups who you already have, the Ten of Pentacles that is generational wealth, the Three of Pentacles working with others, and the Empress, the ultimate creator. And is it going to be underneath here? Yeah, and manifesting with the King of Pentacles. Like, I think it is about how you grow some sort of wealth, and a wealth that you wouldn't have dreamed of since you were a child, ultimately. And it's coming. Just hold on to what you've got at the moment. That's the right thing to do. Don't be impetuous with that money, because maybe the business scheme or the new scheme that you're thinking about has some elements to it that you could invest heavily in now. You just need to be a little bit careful. Just want to take one more card. Explain to us anything else, like that's about 10, 20 cards. What is it that is being reborn here that Aries and Will-o'-the-Wisp have alighted upon, that they need to stay put with in order to bring it to fruition? Or maybe it's hold on to this idea. It's a just idea. It's a right idea, like the huntsman said. Yeah, child of visions. Yes, I think that's it. It might have come from grief, because we see the card of recovering from grief here. It might have come from something that you haven't dared to think of for many years. But the child of visions, she's very romantic and open-minded and whimsical. And so that is what you're, let's just see. Gentle, emotional, sensitive, appreciation of beauty, wonder, innocence, Pollyanna, optimism. So she is what you're wanting. The essence of this is how to hold on to that. Right, we've got that. That is what the Four of Pentacles wants you to hold on to. Do not become cynical. Do not become self-serving and give up this daily wonder. Like awe. If you feel awe every day, if you get out in nature and see, even if you're in London, in a big city anywhere, there's always some green, there's always some new shoots of life starting, or whatever it is that makes you feel awesome. That is what you've got to hold on to. She's been abandoned in the forest and the wood looks scary and forbidding, like the Nine of Swords. Everything she sees is viewed through a rosy, but not for her. Everything is through rosy delight. Her world holds beauty and goodness no matter the situation. Her trusting nature expects everyone to be a friend and every story to end with happily ever after. Her emotions are near the surface, and when her tears do fall, they pass quickly like a summer storm. Oh, look how the raindrops sparkle, and that's what we've got going on down there with the dew, like diamonds in the spiderweb. If this card does not represent a particular person, it can mean a time of increasing harmony, a gift of beauty, or a quarrel forgiven. Yeah, I don't know whether you can see those little will-o'-the-wispy looks down there in the grass. It's her. It's holding on to wonder. It's regardless of what your head and heart have been your head has been communicating to you with worries that might make you say you have to be practical and entrepreneurial and get out there and be a bit more cynical. You're being asked to stay innocent. Now, I hope that means something to someone out there. Thank you for stopping by.